she still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Wei Li is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
On my 30th year of Around the Sun,
30th
welcome
trip.
in everyone to another edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 186. Today is July 18th, 2025. Kid, I did not expect all these balloons. Shout out my girlfriend Sophia. She did this for me, and cannot thank her enough. I did not expect this. I'm not really a birthday guy, but
hey, you deserve it, man. It's your day.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
how are you? How's the Carolinas?
Oh, good, man. You know me. I'm chilling. There's a lot going on in your birthday and also your birthday weekend. I had to always touch in on my Muay Thai fights with One Friday Fights. It's 116 this morning. Tomorrow morning, you got PFL's Road to Dubai Champion Series.
Is it Road to Dubai or is it PFL Africa?
Road to Dubai Champion Series, PFL Africa, Cape Town.
Oh my!
What a mouthful!
What a mouthful! By the way, we're matching.
Yeah, brother, orange.
Holy shit!
KSW, they're gonna have their 7th event this year. They're my dark horse for promotion of the year. They're hosting KSW 108. Yeah, I mean 7 already. They're having one each month. You can count on them to have a good event.
I love that. Yeah, they do a good job.
Certainly, last but not least, they're back. Karate Combat, man.
Wow.
Tonight, Karate Combat's Last Man Standing heavyweight tournament is featured on KC55. 3 wins in one night get you a crack against Smiling Sam Alvey for his heavyweight championship.
And you doubted him. You doubted him.
But we'll see who comes out victorious on that. I got to have your pick on my poll for the tweet I made. But tomorrow they'll have KC56 with 2 title fights. I think one of them is Poatan's sister. I think Aline Per is fighting on that card.
Oh, nice.
So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, kid, we got to. I mean, not just my birthday. It's a hell of a weekend in combat sports. We got UFC 318 down at the Bayou. We got at Wembley, London. We have Usyk Dubois 2 for the undisputed heavyweight championship. We got Mario Barrios taking on Manny Pacquiao for the WBC welterweight world championship. Like you said, PFL Africa. I mean, kid, we are locked and loaded this weekend as well. We also have there's another box, Sebastian Fendoro. He's fighting this weekend as well. We are locked and loaded this weekend.
That's what I'm touching later in the show for 10 seconds.
For 10 seconds left. A little keys in the show. But kid, we got to recap. I was going to start with Biggie Boy in Nashville, but I think I have to start with my winner of the weekend, Hamzat Shiraz.
Hamzat Shiraz. He showed up, man. You said Biggie Boy, bro. You're confused with going all the way back into Charlotte a couple of years ago.
The Black Beast, Derek Lewis. No, it has to be Hamzat Shiraz in Queens. I know Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. They sold out Madison Square Garden.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. I mean, the trilogy was insane. But knocking out Edgar Berlanga after doing all that talking, he might be the biggest star in the UK. He might get Canelo next. We'll see what happens with Bud Crawford in a few months. But that Canelo fight is very plausible here.
Yeah, it's possible, especially, with his backing. Obviously, he's got His Excellence Turki Al-Sheikh in his corner backing him. So more so than most fighters. Obviously, he's pushing the sport of boxing to where it wants to be. Us as fans, we've been clamoring for it. But yeah, Hamzat Shiraz set himself up, man, for the next, I think, 5 years. Because, it may not be Canelo next, but surely he's going to have some highly promoted fights. Mm-hmm. And, man, he gets to go out there, pay a lot of money, and gets to put on a show. And then, before you know it, he will be in that title picture. It might not be next, but he certainly is making way towards it.
What a performance by Brick City's own Shakur Stevenson.
That was a hell of a fight.
I mean, everyone has to stop the disrespect too with Shakur Stevenson. I mean, yes, he started a little slow, and he admitted it after fight. He was hanging around the ropes a little too much, but I thought, what a performance. And if you thought William Zapata won 2 rounds, if that, maybe I'll give you that. But Shakur Stevenson, what a fight. I think, hear me out. The Tank fight needs to happen, But what about Connor Ben
That
147?
thank you. They had that exchange on Ariel Hawani's show, and I was just
Yeah.
saying, you know what? Instead of throwing Shakur to whoever, let's have that fight. Or Connor Ben throwing him back to Chris Eubanks. I mean, that's big for UK, big for English boxing, but I feel like you can hold off on it. You can set that up. That's going to be a fight that, hell, if they have sons, they can have their own trilogy going, and just like their fathers did. So that's a fight that could be, for legacy for generations. But there comes a time where these guys' paths are aligning, and it seems that you could do that fight right now. Like you said, Shakur versus 100%. Connor Ben, that's the one I was going to call.
And Eddie Hearn has said, we don't even know if Chris Eubank Jr. wants to fight anymore.
Seems like he doesn't.
They called
him. You heard Eddie Hearn promoting.
He was hitting a promo right on the scene. I love Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, he's good for the sport. He definitely is.
100%. And if that fight doesn't happen, let Shakur's hands heal up in a little bit. Come October, late fourth quarter, you do that fight. And Shakur said he'll go to London.
Hey, I'm sure he would. Yeah, I don't think he'll mind that. Go in Connor Ben's backyard and prove it. I mean, it got a little dicey in there. I don't think it was gonna get moved to blows in the studio, but it was getting a little heated between the two of them.
He goes. Connor Ben goes, "You're making me want to hit you right now." Shakur's like, "You're not touching me." You're not. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You saw Ariel. He was like this. He was like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. But that's my winner of the weekend, man. I know what they did in Nashville and in Manhattan was amazing, but what they did in Queens was fantastic. So that's my winner of the week. And
I like seeing boxing in New York, man.
100%. It's so good for boxing as well. So Taylor Serrano 3 draw 6 million viewers worldwide, according to the press. Netflix. It was the most watched women's sporting event in 2025. It attracted 6 million viewers worldwide, 4.2 in the United States. It's done the most in the United States, whether it's WNBA, Venus or Serena in New York as well. I mean, fantastic. What they did was amazing, and she's 3-0. I didn't have it tied. I don't know that. I know that one judge did. I had it 96-93 as well.
Yeah. He was bought. It was hers, man. The first two were a little closer, but surely she pulled away in this third. I mean, she really showcased that she's arguably the greatest of all time in the women's, boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, we could say Clarissa Shields, right? But I don't know. I feel like Katie Taylor has fought higher profile fights, right? And it's also, look at the longevity, right? That has to play a factor too. We talked about it online. Your best ability is your availability. And Katie Taylor's been there for almost 2 decades now. So
yeah,
you got to give credit where it's due. She goes down as the GWO. Clarissa Shields, hey man, you might have to take a step back.
Yeah, I thought the whole card was good. I think it was a little more measured approach by both fighters. I thought Amanda Serrano would have went for it a little bit, but they landed the same exact punches landed. So very interesting. But I did think Katie Taylor won the fight. I agree. I don't think 3-0 tells the whole story of the trilogy because it could have been easily 2-1.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors in that makes it interesting. And having Jim Lampley on Joe Rogan was amazing to hear about someone like what kind of goes unnoticed or goes forgotten, right? There's a lot of fighters and fights that we have forgotten about throughout the years. And, we know history is written by the winners. There's surely a lot of people who just came up a little short that surely could have been champions as well.
Alicia Baumgartner, closer than I thought it was going to be. Shout out her opponent. I like Alicia Baumgartner, but man, I thought it was a lot closer than most people.
Shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
We hear the talk is not necessarily backing up the walk. So we got to see it in her next fight. We have high expectations for her, and you got to go out there and have a more dominant performance, or if anything, a finish. Finish always puts a stamp on it.
Yeah, 100%. But the whole card was really good as well. Who else? The girl from Patterson. I think she's next for.
That was a close fight. I mean, her Savannah Marshall really threw down, honestly. But
I thought Savannah Marshall won the fight, even though I thought close. She's from Patterson. I'm so happy she shouted out Patterson, New Jersey. I thought Savannah Marshall won 2 years off. She kind of looked a little rusty in the beginning, but I thought later in the round she won.
It's funny because I thought that she was putting that jab out there early really well, and then she slowed down. That's what I saw a little bit. You could see her piece it together well. Savannah Marshall is, pro's pro.
Yeah.
So when it got later in there, she knew that, regardless of the gas tank being almost empty, she knew how to put her combinations together well. But yeah, I just think it was coming from Shadeja's side, just a little too much. Just that Jersey strong kind of vibe.
I think she's next for Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields, yeah, that's exactly right. Glad we mentioned her twice.
If she gets the win, I think in a week I think Clarissa Shields fights next week in Detroit. So if she fights and she wins, which she probably will, she should fight Shadesha Green. But I think the real winner, Ellie Scott. I mean, that girl is
Scottney. Oh, she made a name for herself. That little chick.
Technical. When I tell you technical boxer, I was blown away. I thought she was the best fighter of the night. The years
of boxing amateur as a kid, it shows the levels at times. There's these kids coming up that have just done nothing but that, and you can see they just start at a higher level than some others.
Chantel Cameron, she won. She got the unanimous.
She's good, man. I think that she deserves a higher spot on the card.
I agree. I agree, but I don't think she should not be talking about Katie Taylor, though. I know, but Katie, I like the side of Katie Taylor coming out and
shine away from her. That was a little disrespectful.
It's saying, you know what? Let her sell out in a Madison Square Garden, and then come talk to me.
There you go.
I like that side of Katie. But yeah, overall, great fight there. And then we could go to Nashville. I mean, playing a little cat and mouse with Taliesin Teixeira. I don't think he eye poked him, but he played it off well. He goes and gets the knockout in 35 seconds.
Vintage Derek Lewis, brother.
We got to fade Brazilians in the main event.
0-8 in 2025?
No, it's 1-11 now.
Okay, but that's like what?
Main events for fight nights, pay-per-views. I said it last episode. They were 1-10. 1-11 now.
Who's got the lone win?
Mackenzie Dern.
That's right. It was against the Brazilian versus the Brazilian.
Yeah.
So it only took that kind of main event for them to get a win. So rough
That's
sledding.
2 in a row. That's 2 in a row for the Black Beast now. Hey, that division needs
plausible. Yeah, dude.
It is very plausible.
After hearing, I know I'm not trying to take away from the MMA news, but after hearing that announcement with that fight that was made, makes me think that they're probably going to announce Aspinall and Gane. So we got to see what they're going to do with Lewis, but the fans would love it. I mean, it'd be good for the sport. It's going to sell. I think it could be a good alternate. Maybe Derek Lewis weighs in as the backup. We'll see how that goes down, but he deserves it. I mean, give that man his credit, his flowers. You didn't expect anything else other than
and he was on the phone with Trump. You saw that?
only Derek Lewis, baby. He can get Trump on the phone right after a knockout victory, bro. Like you said, vintage, bro. The fake inch,
Yeah, it was vintage Derek Lewis.
The most dangerous animal is a hurt one. So
Gabriel Baumfim, as soon as I knew my bet was gone, I thought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won the fight. I think he was robbed, honestly.
Yeah,
I thought there was an argument that he lost round 1, but rounds 2 and 3 he did not lose.
No, I saw that he pulled away, man. I thought he took control of the fight. He was also the more aggressive fighter, and normally he's not the one to be that, like take center, and normally he's relying on his movement, on his in and out counter shots. But man, I saw a different little side of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson last out, but it just was a little short,
Yeah,
a lot of hype on the Bonfim brothers. So at the end of the day, it stinks for Wonderboy because that's his style, is more or less to kind of get to the judges, outpoint you more or less. He could knock you out, but it's just less chance.
Sometimes less is more.
But yeah, I think you could see that in some of the matchups we have even this weekend. I think unfortunately for some of the B sides, so to speak, they need to like I said, put a stamp on it. They need to get the finishes, because if you leave it in the judges' hands, man, it's going to be cutthroat out there.
Oh, Steve Garcia, 6 in a row. I couldn't finish him. I think if he had another round or two, maybe he would have finished Calvin Kattar, but that's 6 in a row now. Don't want to take anything away from Steve Garcia, but what are you doing going on the mic and saying, I want to go back to the Apex? No! I know you want to headline a card, but no, don't go to the Apex. What are we doing, Stevie?
Oh my god! But I think I digested that fight perfectly. I did they credit that knockdown? That had to have counted.
It had to have been.
So that's what I said. I said he was going to get the first knockdown against Calvin Kattar, and he was going to get that decision victory. Calvin Cater's too tough, but Steve Garcia's got enough talent, the way that he lunges it on his shots, but still stays balanced. It's interesting to see his style. It's exciting. And, he dominated that fight. I got to say, man, kept the pace. He's got the power. He's a threat, brother. He is. I like Steve Garcia a lot. I think he makes good matchups upcoming. So it was all about the mean machine.
It's also good to see Jackson Wink have another star out of the gym too, out of New Mexico. So
for sure,
love that. What a fight between Nate Landwehr and Morgan Sharia. Fight of the night. Glad they got the bonus. They came out of the third round swinging.
Yeah, man, that was like kill or be killed right there in the third. So we always liked Morgan. You and I, the last Pirate, we've seen the potential in this dude.
Yeah,
they argued that he hasn't won fights outside of some of the French promotions or outside the European region, but I think that style travels well. He's a bona fide striker. He does great takedown defense. He does seem to be able to grapple as well. He was holding his fair share pretty well in there. I like Morgan Sharia a lot. I think he's very talented.
Third heel hook in a row, plus 650, baby. Walter Walker.
Yo, great hit, bro. I mean, that takes balls to go and be backing him that much. Feel like, yo, and if you could have, got to shout out Matty Betts. He did find a platform that bet the heel hook submission finish. So, I mean, after the first one, if you went back to the well twice, you had 650 on just any submission. Imagine.
Yeah, I had plus 650 anytime submission. Do you know what the odds were?
For exact heel hook?
Yeah.
Probably like plus 1,500.
Oh, my God. 15-1 is
15
so
1.
Nice. I took him plus 170 on the money line, and I took him plus 650. I could have lost all my other bets, and I still would have ended in the green because of Walter.
Dark horse in the
heavyweight. I love him. He's nice, bro. He's really nice.
It's because if you're not agile, you're not going to be able to get out of that as a heavyweight. And he's got some trick up his sleeve. Sometimes it is that effective. You just can't stop it. Like look at Habib, look at the run game of some football teams. If you can't stop it, we're going to keep going back to it. So.
And the last performance of the night was the first fight of the night. We hit with Fatima Klein. She knocks out Melissa Martinez in front of her sister, her brother-in-law, her parents, her two little nieces. I met the family on the plane to Colorado.
Such good people.
Oh, the most humble people. It was so nice to see her get the win. Hot take. And I told you this after. She's going to be a champion one day, bro. I got it with Natalia Silva. Fatima Klein is going to be a champion one day. Maybe not in the next year, but in the next 2 years, she is lethal, bro.
Fallen in love with her stand-up game. We saw it right there on full display. I mean, she had full control of the first 2 rounds, and I felt like she could have locked in that submission if she wanted in a second.
Yes.
She barely utilizes her grappling, and you know how good she is there with all the tournaments and all the submission grappling events, wrestling, everything she's done there. She now has fallen in love with her stand-up, but she's a complete package already. I think Fatima Klein, I think you're right. That's a future champ right there.
Yeah, keep your eye on her. She is going to be very interesting in that women's strawweight division. But overall, crowd was good in Nashville. Very successful night. We hit on Fatima Klein. We hit on Walter Walker. I was hurting for our girl Lauren Murphy. I was rooting for her, but
I don't know
she
what the
didn't
fuck you said.
Yeah, it was over. Chris Curtis, he gets the split decision.
It was Chris Curtis' decision.
Yeah,
just like we know death tax is Chris Curtis' decision.
Exactly. And we hit on Steve Garcia. We don't hit on Gabriel Bonfim. We took him inside the distance, and we hit on Derek Lewis KO and on the money line plus 210. That was the market was just so wrong there. But overall, we hit on boxing. We hit on I took Amanda Serrano, but all good.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Overall, it was a great weekend. How did you do?
8-10, man. I did well, like overall in all the events, and then I missed on 10 seconds left. 0-2 on my last 2, but I'm gonna get it back on track this weekend.
All right, kid, let's get to it. Let's go down to the Smoothie Arena in New Orleans. I wish it was in Lafayette. I wish it was in
You got a couple
Lafayette.
more fighters from there, right?
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean, you need to have your arena to host something like this,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's the problem.
These you got to give credit to the fighters that are manifesting things. I mean, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
the BMF belt without Nate Diaz manifesting it, and we wouldn't have this event without Dustin Poirier manifesting it and telling the UFC that he wants to go out on his own terms and he wants to go out in his home state. So, a beautiful, city of New Orleans is happy to host them, and I think it's going to be a spectacular event.
All 28 athletes have successfully made weight. So that is a very positive note. And we will, again, just like last week, we'll start in the women's flyweight division, kid. What do you got?
I think that's going to be an exciting one because Charlie Judas brings it, and she is exactly that from Lafayette, Louisiana, minus 320 here as a favorite on the money line. Nicole Carolari, don't get me wrong, she, very competent fighter, hasn't been finished via KO, TKO in her professional career, but the odds are doubting her because I think the crowd and the fighter she's up against, I mean, the odds are stacked against her at plus 290. I like Carly Judas here. I think she has the ability to put fighters away in the first round, and then at the other end of it, she puts together combinations. She has great gas tanks, so she can incorporate volume, incorporate those combinations, and just overwhelm fighters. So, with Carolari being skillful as she is, do we see her getting finished in there? I think it's more or less this size of fighters and just the way that this fight may go down. Like Carolari could steal around with maybe taking down Judas. I would like to go with the hometown fighter on the judges' scorecards. I think that Carly Judas will win the significant strike advantage, and I think that if she does lose a round, I think she just needs to win the other two, and then she can get on the victory side. So let's take Carly Judas via decision at plus 105. I'm gonna have her as a leg of a parlay.
So I like her in the parlay. She's a huge favorite. This is a striker versus a grappler. And as per usual, you love your grapplers. I'm backing my striker here. She's fighting in her home state, like you mentioned, in Louisiana. I just think, Nicole, she's a very small flyweight where Carly Judas, she is huge for the division. And I think Nicole's going to have a hard time closing the distance to hold off the American. So I think she's going to make a mess of it on the feet.
Yeah. Carly
Judas, sprinkle a little on KO, TKO at plus 417 if you're feeling a little risky.
Yeah, you like the decision play? She has got a couple others there in her.
She does, but I think she's going to be motivated to go out there and get the finish. Yeah. And plus 417, you got to sprinkle a little pizza bet on that.
Worth a little something. So,
yeah.
Let's go into this middleweight matchup where Bruno Ferreira is minus 530, taking on a Jackson McVeigh at plus 500, man. I know a lot of people are going to be backed in the Hulk in this one. I could see it already. You look at the value. You got to kind of, I guess, look at the chalk and find a way to take it down. He looks like on paper that he's going to have the advantage in the power department, whether that's like powering home some submissions with like Kimura locks, key arm locks, or just slugging it away on the feet. But I for surprising reasons, man, I know we haven't seen Jackson McVeigh at all, but you look Bruno Ferreira, he has fallen short in some matchups, and man, I'm going to go and take a value underdog pick in Jackson McVeigh. I'm going for it. I'm going to just pick the plus 500. It's not much value even in the props, Bruno Ferreira here. So like I said, it's strictly more of a value bet. But, man, you've seen Bruno Ferreira, if he's not the hammer, he's not a good nail. I mean, he does fold, especially on the ground. So Jackson McVeigh does have some submission victories under his resume. Obviously, it's a level of competition we don't like. But I see if it hits the mat, I see it could be McVeigh's night, and at plus 500 on the money line, got to take the value pick.
That's what I was going to ask you. He's kind of a huge favorite. Does it worry you a little bit? 6-1,
right? Yeah,
that worries me. We saw that with Bonfim last week and
it was close. These are close. So I mean, and as you said, in 2025, it's a year to fade Brazilians, unfortunately. So it might be a spot early in this card. Jackson McVeigh could surprise a lot of people and ruin some parlays.
The American fighting at home, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis, right, originally, but training out.
I think he's out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's go to the heavyweight matchup. A couple new guys that have been in the light heavyweight division. Brian Spann, he's making his debut at heavyweight, or he was last time out. But anyway, he's kind of making his home here at heavyweight. Minus 215. Minus 215. Lucas Bresky, man, plus 200. I think the odds should be even more. I think maybe it's a little closer in favor because Spann also hasn't looked as good as late, but man, Lucas Bresky, I just think dude's a can. I don't think he should be in the UFC, bro.
Wow.
I mean, he's getting knocked out left and right. Yeah, he put up that good fight against Walter Walker, but Walter Walker didn't find out his identity. Now we know who Walter Walker is. So maybe losing that fight did help him out. He helped the trajectory of Walter Walker's career, but I don't think he's going to help the trajectory of his own. Give me Ryan Spann here to settle in at heavyweight. I think, like I said, Lucas Brzeski getting chinned as many times as he has. I don't see Spann does like his submissions, but I see Lucas Brzeski not ever getting tapped before. So I feel like Superman to get comfortable here at this weight class, stand up, stand and bang with this guy. Try to find your way to a knockout. I'm going to go and take it. Get that chalk down for you. Give me Superman via KO TKO at plus 165.
Kid, just to let you know, I don't have anything until the Francisco Prado fight.
Interesting. I got some interesting play on that one there. So
okay.
I'll keep it rolling with the next couple of fights. Light heavyweight matchup. Jimmy the Brute Crute, is minus 300. That's Marcin Prachnio at plus 290. My play is it's Jimmy Crute, like with some of the other Australians, like we see Jake Matthews, which kind of fighter we're gonna have show up. The inconsistencies at that time were you, and Marcin Prachnio at times, though the Polish power he has, he's sometimes a punching bag. He stands there and he can get hit. So I wonder if Jimmy Crute's gonna take advantage of that, or is he gonna try to grapple? I think if it does go to that side, I feel like we're gonna get the over. A couple of rounds. You could play maybe the second round to start, maybe the third round to start, but I like minus 170 on over 1.5 rounds. I don't see a knockout early, if anything, from the Prachnio side, because he does have that power. But Jimmy Crute's very smart in there. Like I said, he could dive in for that takedown and then just take control of the fight. And all you need is the 2.5 minute mark on the second round to cash this. So minus 170, not the chalkiest over total I've seen. I'm willing to take it at over 1.5 minus 170. So this guy, I think, is a star in the making. We talked like some guys that looked the part and their performances speak for themselves, like Joel Alvarez. This guy kind of reminds me in this next one. This welterweight matchup is Adam Fugit plus 500 taking on who I've been mentioning, Islam Dulatov. If you don't know this,
he's
German
the real
fighter,
deal.
It's legit, man. What was he, a Calvin Klein model or a GQ model or something like that?
I think he was a GQ model.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, Alan Joban knows a little something like that.
Yeah.
Living the double life. Supermodel and a
if the UFC doesn't work, you just go back to modeling.
Just go back to that. But I think the
nice.
skill suits match the physique, the aesthetics. I think he's super talented. Fight's never gone to the judges that he's won. He's finished all his fights. I think he's lost one time via the decision. Close fight at that, if you look back. But Dulatov is a legit fighter. You got to take him here. And if you look at the majority of those finishes, they happen in the first round. I think Adam Fugit is here for the taking. Give me Dulatov the win in round one. Could be any type of victory. Cut him, submit him, knock him out. I think he does it in one. Give me Dulatov to win round one at plus 110. Getting a little plus money on something that could very well happen. So I like this next matchup too, because we could see a first round finish as well. It just depends on what side of the coin you're going here. This middleweight matchup is Ateba Gautier minus 495 against Robert Valentin at plus 470. Classic Dana White Contender Series alum against the tough alum right here. And, honestly, what you've seen as of late, these tough fighters, their level isn't necessarily the same as the Dana White Contender Series alums. Maybe the personalities can show up a little bit more, but that doesn't matter when the door is locked behind you in the octagon. I think the Dana White Contender Series guys are coming out are true, pure fighters, and that's going to showcase here. I like Ateba Gautier. I like him in the first round again, but I like him more specific. Gautier, first round KO, TKO. Valentin's a dog. He can get in there. He's going to want to mix it up and definitely try to get away from the power. Yeah, and take him down. I think that's going to be desperation for him in there because Gautier's going to be headhunting, and I think he can get it. I think he's one of the more powerful punches in this weight class. He's even talking about it. I'm going to back him. If he's speaking this highly about himself, he better prove it. So let's go Gautier, first round KO, TKO at plus 155.
I love it.
And now in the next matchup where you have your first pick, I think this is a really under the radar fight. I think these two guys bring it. This welterweight matchup, 170 between Francisco Prado. He's a favorite, minus 135, and Nikolai Vernikov at plus 130. I think this is a really closely contested fight. You could pick a side here. You could, see a finish in this one, the way they fight. You could see a very close decision. I see a possibility of, as D-Rock always comes out and maybe takes the points. I maybe would go with whoever's getting them in this one. I think that would be Varetnikov, right? All he needs to do is technically like win a round, right? Something like that. I see that also occurring in another fight that we'll talk about, but something that close and a fight, that could still fight of the night. A little prop that I see that is valuable where you don't have to pick a side. You just got to look at what has happened in the past. Prado does like to bang, but he also has takedown ability. He has a couple in his UFC fights. And Varetnikov, I think in the 3 UFC fights that he's had, he's led up a total of 6 takedowns. So all you need is Prado to land 1 takedown. It's at -120, and you can make quick money on a simple bet like that.
Yeah, both of these guys coming off 2 losses, back-to-back losses. So this could be in a situation both
Jake Matthews, right?
Yeah.
Both lost to Jake Matthews their last fight.
Loser leaves town at welterweight on Saturday. But I do like Francisco Prado here, -133. I was able to keep his job. I think he's a finisher. He's a well-rounded fighter at that.
He gets that takedown as well. You're right, bro. It's all for him. 6
knockouts, 6 submissions. He has 12 pro wins. And the biggest cap on this fight, he's 13 years younger than Varetnikov as well. That's a massive advantage.
A lot of age gaps in this card.
And especially on the mat. So I think he has the edge this weekend in all aspects. I thought he would be a bigger favorite. I think we're getting a discounted price. So -133, I'll take Francisco Prado straight up.
Hey, brother, I might back you on that one. I'll see if I go to the window with it. I like Francisco Prado in as well. Now we go to this next matchup, man. And, I thought this was going to be a main card fight,
right?
Here in the prelims. Yeah, middleweight matchup. Marvin Vettori, the Italian stallion, the Italian dream, is a dog at +170 because he's taking on the hometown kid, right? Yeah. Brendan Allen from Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, a Lafayette guy, right, as well, or Covington. I think he's something like that. But still, nonetheless, if you're in the Louisiana state, hometown guy, home state guy, you're going to have the crowd back you. So, Vettori's going to have his hands full with Allen, the crowd, everything. -185 for all-in Allen. I like him at home here. I think the knockout TKO, Brendan Allen, he's the closest way he's going to go and get the knockout is if he was able to get Vettori to hit his head against a chair in the casino floor. I don't necessarily think that he's going to be able to knock out Vettori on the feet or on the ground, even in the octagon. But what he can do is he could, possibly dominate with the wrestling, maybe the grappling as well. I like the double chance to take away the KO TKO. The submission you can leave out. Vettori's very tough, never been finished in his career. I would still leave it on the table so you can squeeze down the -185. So double chance it, sub or decision, -155 for all-in Allen. I think he's the right side. He'll cap that 2-leg parlay. So give you the Cajun prop parlay of the hometown crew. You got Carly Judas, and then you got Brendan Allen, +235 for those 2 heads.
Yeah, obviously we know they had that run in outside of the octagon, and I agree with the odds. I think 2-1 favorite. I think that's fine. As good as Vettori is, 9-year veteran, he's become a low striker with really no takedown attempts, really, but he still holds on to that durability, like you mentioned, still never been finished. And I think Allen, at times, I think he has the skill to be champion, but then he tends to fall short right before a title. He worries me a little bit. He is getting Marvin Vettori at the right time in his career, and I expect Brendan Allen to be the better fighter everywhere and anywhere this fight goes. So he's more aggressive. I think he's better on the floor, and I think he's better on the feet as well. So I think the fight goes all 3 rounds. I think he puts on a showcase at home in his home state of Louisiana as well. I think it goes all 3 rounds. I'll take Brendan Allen to win a decision at +125.
Get some plus money out of that pick. Good job. Good on you. Now we'll go to the main event of the preliminary card, and it's in 135 pounds. Bantamweight division consists of Kyler Phillips. I like the placement of this fight on this card. This is another one that can still fight of the night.
Lock Dog.
The Matrix is a dog against Lock Dog. Yeah, +130 for Kyler Phillips. Vinny Oliveira, -135. D-Rock, I want you to lead off with this. Who you got?
I don't have anything here, even though I would go Lock Dog. I know. I'm a fan of Kyler Phillips. I like Oliveira as well. But we're fading the Brazilians this year, kid.
Oh, so you're just not touching it.
I'm not touching it. I think that I just said I thought the odds makers were correct with this Brendan Allen Marvin Vettori fight. I think the odd makers are sharp in this fight as well. I think it's kind of a pick 'em. I would kind of lean Kyler Phillips with the plus money, but I think it's a banger of a fight, and I agree. I think it's the placement on the card. I think all eyes are going to be on this fight.
That's right. And like you said, with the skill set that you have between the two, I think that, Kyler Phillips has shown that he could pick it up late. And Vinny has the knockout ability late with that flying knee you saw a couple fights ago. I mean, he's on a streak right now. So it's hard to fade this type of guy, right, in this spot. But like you said, the Matrix, Kyler Phillips, he's legit as they come. So this is a big test, I think, more so for Vinny Oliveira. Surprisingly so, the odds don't reflect it. With this being as close as a fight as we think, like I mentioned, what could happen before, maybe you want to take the points with whoever's getting them, right? Because it can be a value bet there. You're going to have some leeway, because if it winds up with the way I think it happened, you don't have to pick a side, but I do feel like this fight can end in split or majority decision. And this fight just to end, no picking sides, to go to decision, split, or majority is at plus 450. Like you said, yeah, you could take the plus 3.5 on either guy who's getting it, and all they need is a round. And then if they get a round, that's a split decision. And so plus 450 to not have to pick a side in this fantastic fight. I think we do get to the judges. I think it's going to be a nail biter, and it's going to be fight of the night. I think it could
under your head. Who wins?
Surprisingly, I like Kyler Phillips a lot, but I think the significant strikes, I think the damage, I think Oliveira may damage Kyler Phillips a little more.
That's why I'm glad we're both staying away from a side, because I agree. I think this has potential of fight of the night as well.
Absolutely. Two great fighters there. So we've made it to the main card here. Let's go. Let's start it up with the lightweight division, man. Michael Johnson, bro. MJ, he's just been all over the place, man. The legend, you got to say, in his own right. Plus 485. The golden boy, Daniel Zellhuber. The new era of MMA is here. Minus 515. The odds makers see it that way as well. I'll give you mine. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Just like how Carlos Prates is addicted to darts, I'm addicted to betting Michael Johnson at plus money. I fucking love this guy. I mean, I like Daniel Zellhuber. I really do. I think he could bang. He's great on the feet. I think his footwork is great. But Michael Johnson has that dog in him. He is as tough as a $2 steak. And I really think if you want to get in a war with him, with his experience, I'm going to take Michael Johnson at plus money. I'm fucking addicted. I have to take him. Give me Michael Johnson plus 210. I have to take him.
Love it, man. I was tempted to see Michael Johnson do it one more time, man. One more run at the title for MJ, But I got to agree. The length.
You're killing me, kid.
Daniel Zellhuber, man. I hate to do it. I think it's going to be too much, the striking, everything. And we've seen Michael Johnson. So he's gotten knocked out far too many times, cold, stiff to my liking. And I just think it's worrisome at his age and with the skill set of Daniel Zellhuber. He's going to like to stand and bang. So
would you be surprised if Johnson won?
Not at all. But my play is Golden Boy via KO. TKO at plus 180, because if Michael Johnson goes towards that, I feel like all it takes is one with his chin. And I hate to say that, but
I hear you.
Yeah. So let's go to the featherweight fight that's next up, man. I think a lot of people were in the corner of Patricio Pitbull and, thinking that he's going to make waves when he hits the UFC. Not so fast. You got Yair, your first debut fight. And here you go, 50K Dan Ige next, man.
50K.
You would think that, oh, man, Ige's been in the UFC forever. He's got to be older than Patricio. Look how long Patricio Pitbull has been in Bellator and PFL and Rizin and wherever he's been. The dude's 38 years old. So he's at the back nine of his career, man. Dan Ige, through all that he's done in the UFC, he's 33 years of age. I think Dan Ige still got a lot more miles in the tank. He still wants it, but he lives up to his nickname in the least expected spots, man. Though I think Pitbull's tough enough to get it to the judges, I'll lay the chalk. I'm taking 50K Dan Ige. I love this guy. I think he's just a dog. You step in on last minute notice, a couple hours away from the fight, he's going to be there. Now you got to camp. I think he could put the combos together. I think he's fresher in his age. I think he's seen more UFC competition, higher levels. I think Patricio Pitbull is going to start his UFC career 0-2.
I love it, kid. I'm on the same side as you. I'm trying to do a same game parlay real quick for you.
Trying to pick something with Dan Ige, like strikes maybe.
No. So I wanted to do, because he's the favorite, and I agree with the line movement as well. He opened up a minus 175 favorite. He's climbed to minus 220 is what I'm seeing right now. Ooh, yeah. I took a same game parlay, Dan Ige on the money line and over 2.5 rounds. You could get that at plus 103. I love it, kid. He's coming off that knockout win, and he's looking to add a really good name. Say what you want about Pitbull. I know it was a tough opening fight in his UFC debut, but it's still a name. And I think Dan Ige, I think he's going to look to continue to climb in this featherweight division. He has an endless gas tank. He has power. And I think he has really good fight IQ as well. And I think that should pay off against a seasoned veteran like Patricio Pupo as well. And he didn't look like himself against Yair Rodriguez. I don't know what it was. He said he was on Ariel Helwani this weekend. He said, you know what? I was too comfortable. I wasn't nervous, and that was his problem. I don't know if I believe that a little bit, but I think it should be a competitive fight. Both guys tend to start slow, but I think as the fight goes on, Dan Ike's volume, his pace is going to increase, and I think he's going to win. So I'm going to do a same game parlay. I'm going to take Dan Ige on the money line plus over 2.5 rounds to get that at plus money.
I get a little concerned if as we said with what happened with Bonfim, right, against Wonder Boy, if the judges are bought and if it's a kind of close to fight, if they're going to try to promote the Pitbull career, right, if they're going to push him and give him the nod.
I don't think they're like that. I don't think they're trying to push the Bellator guys.
No,
Seriously.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. You just don't know what they're aligned with. They bring over this big star, but there you go. 0-2, it kind of shows, like you said, levels. There's levels.
Yeah. Shout out Dan.
Also, Dan Ige, I'll put him as a parlay piece. I'm on the money line. He could be a 3-leg parlay starter. So let's go into this next matchup, the featured bout, 170 pounds, where Kevin Holland wants to make home here. You can look at this moment in time as he's, now won a couple, as in the past, the inconsistencies can rear their ugly head. All of a sudden, he wins a couple and then he'll lose a couple. It's been 2 wins, 2 losses, I think, for the past 4 years now, looking at his resume. But the odds like him in this spot. He's minus 485 because D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, is a big dog. But, he hasn't been too far away from the game. It's only been about a half a year for Daniel Rodriguez. So he's not necessarily coming off the couch. I mean, he looks in great condition, ready to go here. Kevin Holland, though, may have a little bit more at his disposal. I think we've seen Daniel Rodriguez at times. We've seen him get knocked down on the feet in Charlotte, and we've seen him be susceptible on the ground. I think Kevin Holland could have some path of least resistance on the mat, especially with his jiu-jitsu. But, I mean, the length, the reach, the way he kind of controls the pace on the feet, I just feel like Daniel Rodriguez will fall short a little bit. And I could lay the chalk on the Kevin Holland straight up on the money line with everything I mentioned, because it seems that everything's on the table. But I am laying the chalk because I'll put him as the leg piece on that second leg on that 3-leg money line parlay. But you could see him getting to the judges' scorecards and winning unanimously. I do see that. I don't necessarily see D-Rod getting finished in this one. He's a tough son of a bitch. And Kevin Holland has had a couple finishes as of late. It's a law of averages in this one, and I think we come back to earth a little bit between the two fighters. And so Kevin Holland via decision could be a prop bet for you guys, but I lay in the chalk and just putting him as a leg as the parlay.
Yeah, I think Kevin Holland is just different at welterweight.
Yeah,
he's different, and I think he needs to stay at 170. So I think Daniel Rodriguez is in trouble here at 170. Holland is way bigger, longer than Rodriguez, and I think he'll use his length to kind of piece him up on the feet. He has the finishing capability. I just don't see a pathway to victory for D-Rod. I love D-Rod. Amazing story, going to jail, turning his life around, being kind of a good person in California for the youth. I love his story. I just don't see a pathway. I think the minus 400, minus 500 I'm seeing. Yeah. I think it's fair. And it's no disrespect to Daniel Rodriguez, but I'm going to take Kevin Holland inside the distance at minus 160. I think he eventually late gets a finish.
Nice. We're on the same side, but just different on how it could get done. So let's talk about the co-main event next. We got a 185-pound matchup. Paulo Costa, Eraser, Borrachina. Plus 215. But Roman Kopylov, man, he might be on a mission, brother. Minus 225, man. I looked at the camp. I looked at the footage. You looked at the embeddeds, man. I think he's a very intelligent fighter. Yeah, he's fallen short in a couple fights, but I think he's finding his footing now after streaking. Kopylov is a dangerous striker. Paulo Costa doesn't, as much as we've seen his wrestling with the Logan Paul footage back in the day. Also, Paulo Costa hasn't fought in over 400 days. It's over a year since we last seen him.
I don't know what's going on either.
I think this is almost time for Paulo Costa to get cut, even though he's a top 15 fighter right now.
He's still a big name, though.
I know, but doesn't he demand a lot of money too? If he's not producing, I think the UFC could be at the crossroads with keeping him on the roster. So Kopylov is legit. I think you could double chance and squeeze out the submission, because I think this is a stand-up fight. It's either going to end with a KO TKO or it's going to go to the judges with a lopsided victory for Kopylov. But doing that double chance only squeezes the play that I had on the money line at minus 225 down to minus 220. So you lose 0.5 on the odds. I just don't think that's enough to swing it. So I'll just play it safe, take him on the money line, and cap out that 3-leg money line parlay. So Danny Ige, Kevin Holland, and Roman Kopylov all on the money line gives you odds at plus 160. And that's what I'll play.
Let's not forget, Paulo Costa had a lot of success early in his career, and he was knocking his opponents out. He was really showcasing his athleticism, but let's call a spade a spade. It's been a while since he's had a dominant win over anyone significant. Now you get Roman Kopylov, who he deserves to be this. I thought he was going to be a bigger favorite, if I'm being honest, and I'm shocked the number isn't higher. I think he's the better striker. He's worked harder, and he's worked really hard lately, getting better on his takedown defense as well. So unless Paulo Costa turns into Anthony fucking Hernandez and becomes an incredible wrestler and looks to dominate his cardio, I just don't see how he gets the win here. So if you don't like the minus 240, put him in a parlay. But I'm going to take Roman Kopylov to win by decision at plus 120.
Woo! Good play, my man. So here we are. We've made it to UFC 318's main event. It is the retirement party for Dustin Poirier, but he is
we got Little Wayne walking him out too.
Little Wayne walking around. He said he came in with his first fight on a Lil Wayne song, and he's leaving with Lil Wayne walking him out. And it seems that Weezy might be putting the belt on either one of these guys. It seems like that's what
he should
in a way. But for these UFC BMF title, man, Max Holloway is the favorite in this one, hoping to spoil, like I said, the last fight of Dustin Poirier's career. 40 professional fights would be to cap it off for Dustin Poirier. But Holloway minus 125, Dustin Poirier plus 125. I got to hand it over to you for the main event, D-Rock. Give us your play.
Oh man, do we make it 3-0? And it's kind of telling as what I pick. I mean, I have him immortalized behind me after the best knockout I've ever seen after UFC 300, but kind of covering him up, if you know what I mean, because the diamond is coming. It's so staining in his career that he finished 0-3 against Alex Volkanovski. And there's a very good chance he might finish 0-3 against Dustin Poirier. I expect this one to be very exciting. Two high-level caliber fighters with some of the best durability in the sport. It would be shocking if the fight wasn't competitive from bell to bell. The biggest question could be, how does Max Holloway respond after the first knockout loss of his career? Obviously, he got knocked out unconscious against Ilia Topuria. Obviously, Dustin doesn't carry that same power. He's more the type to kind of wear you down as the fight goes on and maybe finish you late. So love the over 4.5 rounds at minus 150. I think it's really good value there. I feels like a safer play. But, kid, who would I be if we go to New Orleans and he doesn't wind up winning here? I got to take Dustin Poirier. I think he completes the sweep against Max Holloway in their trilogy fight. Style makes fights, they say. And Poirier's already proven it to do it twice already, and he has the style to beat Max Holloway. He'll be bigger. He'll be stronger. And I think he's going to be the one landing more of the harder shots. I'm going to take Dustin Poirier at plus 120, but the safer play, I think, is over 4.5 rounds. But I like both of those.
Yeah, you see this going to the judges, man. Tough fight here. I mean, juiced? Both fighters look excellent, man. They're both bringing their A game in this one. And, the BMF title has never been defended. It's every champion has lost it, has given way. And, if Dustin Poirier wins, right, that's going to be retired with him, right? The BMF title will retire.
God.
Dustin Poirier will lose the quote-unquote gimmick belt. But this fight game, man, this is an interesting world we live in, man. Anything can happen under the sun. And as much as it seems that Poirier can go out on his own terms and beat Max Holloway, complete the trifecta, maybe get that knockout to keep Max Holloway 0-3 against him. But, man, I got to go with a guy that's going to stay in the sport here. I got a guy that's going to, shock everyone and show that he still got it, and even puts on a stellar performance against Dustin Poirier. Who knows what we could do? We may see him continue at 155 from here on out for Max Holloway. I wanted him to stay here. He looked so good at 300, man. I think maybe who knows what would have happened if him and Topuria fought at 155. So that could still be in the wings. We could possibly see that in the future, especially if Max Holloway comes out victorious. So I was very torn between this one, man. I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts about it. And I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Max Holloway on the money line at -125. But I do think that this is a decision fight. I think that this is going to be, we talked about the fight of the nights prior. Let's be real. This is not only going to possibly be fight of the night, it's rightfully so the main event and also the people's main event. I think it's all three. And I think it's going to be one of the fights of our lifetimes. I really think that these guys are going to go toe to toe. I think it's going to go, it's going to be literally a round that's going to give it sway one way or other. So you could see Poirier winning this. You could see Holloway winning this, but I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Holloway on the money line, but I do see if I were to pick this on a prop, I'd probably go Max Holloway via decision. Yeah, it was going to be a decision at 300 if he didn't get that last second knockout, right? So let's see how this menage a trois works out if he does
Great word.
Dustin Poirier out of there.
Yeah.
So
love it. Kid, good luck. Remember, early prelims start 6 p.m. on UFC Fight Pass. Prelims are on ESPN and ESPN Plus at 8 o'clock. Main card start time 10 p.m. on pay-per-view. Kid, before we go over to Wimbledon across the pond, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Usyk Dubois 2, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with our Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Cake Pigs and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's go over to Wimbledon Stadium on July 19th, tomorrow, for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. We get the rematch that we had a few years ago between Alexander Usyk, the #1 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, against Daniel Dubois. It's on pay-per-view, DAZN. I will let you lead it off. I'm very interested to see what you like here, kid.
Yeah, man. Brother, I like this matchup a lot, man. I really do, bro. Daniel Dubois, bro. Those last 3 matchups, bro. It looked lopsided. He's made world-class athletes look like they don't. Philip Hervik, Anthony Joshua. I mean, he's put these guys in their place. But will it translate against a guy who's as light as his feet as Alexander Usyk, man? I mean, he lives up to that cat nickname, right? I mean, I made a lot of money picking Daniel Dubois, and I'm very tempted to do so here at the price that he's at, plus 320 on some of the books. Man, it's hard pressed for me not to take him, but man, Alexander Usyk is just too good right now. I think he's striking one of the irons hot. I think that he's going to, right what was kind of a wrong in the first matchup between these guys, because, there was that argument of him getting hit low, but they marked it a knockdown, right? Or it was a low blow when they marked. It was a mess, and he did get the finish. He did get the finish in the 9th round. So, if there is no controversial low blow or any type of shot that's gonna, cause some trouble for Usyk and his camp and his corner, then I feel like he cruises here. He is this what guy is going to possibly, if he wins this fight, he's going to go down as, I think, the greatest fighter of all time, right? He could arguably be so, the greatest boxer of all time, right?
Absolutely.
Golden medal in the Olympics, complete wipeout of the cruiserweight division, and now this Daniel Dubois seems to be the last stand for the heavyweight division. I think he does it. I think Alexander Usyk's going to define his legacy, retire undefeated. I don't know necessarily if he will retire out of this fight, but what's next for him, right? He simply could. We talking all this focus on 318 and Dustin Poirier's retirement. We could possibly see Alexander Usyk actually retire on his own terms and go out as the greatest fighter of all time, which I've argued. So, yeah, a minus 340. Got to bring it down. I don't think that he's going to get Dubois out of there like the first time, but I think that there's going to be nothing coming his way, nothing that's going to cause him to, be in any danger. So I think Usyk cruises to a unanimous victory. I think it's going to be Usyk via decision at plus 185. That's what I took. Gives you some room just in case if there is a couple, rounds that go in favor of Dubois, but I think the rightful play would be Alexander Usyk unanimous decision. I think you could squeeze even more out of this, and maybe I'll even double down because I just think that Usyk's he's gonna dominate. He's gonna showcase he's the best, and I know that age gap is a little scary, right? 10 years plus of age gap, but he did it once and he'll do it again. Though it's the hardest thing to do in sports is being that same guy twice. Usyk's different. And I think that he's going to showcase who he really is. So give me Usyk a decision plus 180.
I forgot to say the odds. Usyk minus 340, Daniel Dubois plus 260. I don't think it should be any surprise that Usyk's a 3-1 favorite. Back-to-back wins over Tyson Fury. He's shown time and time again. Not only is he a complete fighter, but he continues to get better. Dubois has power, but if he isn't able to hurt Alexander Usyk early, the longer the fight goes, the better it is for the unified champ, in my opinion. I don't see Daniel Dubois being able to outbox or outclass Usyk in this fight. If you want to take Usyk on the money line, make him kind of like your anchor or put him in one of your parlays, I think that's a smart. Otherwise, I agree with you. I took Usyk by decision at plus 185.
Yeah, brother. I mean, we got him right there. That's great value for a guy like that, I think. And then as well, the other Ukrainians on the card, my man, I think that they're complete savages. Like you look at Daniel Lapin. I mean, Lewis Edmondson's really good, but, I would take Lapin, and then you look at Vladislav Sharenko. I don't think that's really close there. So you can take all three of those Ukrainian boxers, and I bet you get some crazy odds on a parlay. That's something that I'm going to go to the window with.
All right, kid. Let's go to another fight. I have a play real quick. The champion Mario Barrios minus 275 against the return of the great Manny Pacquiao plus 210. That's for the WBC welterweight world championship at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on pay-per-view, on a Prime pay-per-view actually. So, I was kind of mad. I don't want to say mad. I didn't like that Manny Pacquiao just returned and skipped the line a little bit. He's a fan favorite. I understand it. Only 8 division champion should be interesting, but Manny as a Pacquiao is always intriguing. But with his age, time away from the ring, potentially being a factor in a 12-round fight, taking him on the money line feels kind of like a donation to the books. But I think Pacquiao will probably come into this fight, I think, in shape. I think he's taking it serious. I don't think it's just for a payday. I think he'll still have some durability. So betting the fight to go to decision makes the most sense. But over 10.5 rounds at minus 135, I like that. I'm going to take the over. That's my official play here. I believe Pacquiao is going to hang in there and make the fight competitive to bell to bell. I think you could get plus money for the fight to go to decision, but over 10.5 rounds at minus 135, I think is a good play, kid.
No, not a bad. I would go with the value pick. I go with Pacquiao. You know what I mean? I would do. I don't have an official play there. But don't disrespect Manny Pacquiao, because the only person I can think of that could possibly have a chance of winning this title after that sort of hiatus was George Foreman. You know what I mean? So I think it's a winnable fight against Mario Barrios, who's dropped his last 5. He's had some really close calls, right? Some of those fights he shouldn't even have won. And then he's also had a no contest and he's dropped one. So yeah, man, it's a very winnable fight. And I think maybe that's what you could say. It's maybe not on the onus of Manny Pacquiao to have skipped the line, but that division being in the state that it is. If Mario Barrios is your champion, maybe it goes to show that it's a little weak at the moment. So Pacquiao, even at his old age, he can inject some life into it. So, man, I would probably go to the window with taking Pacquiao as a dog price on the money line.
I love it. All right, kid. Before we get to 10 seconds left, we have some news here. We'll start in the UFC. Great fight here, October 25th, the day before your birthday. UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. Alexander Volkov will take on Jail Time Jolton Almeida. That's a banger of a fight, kid.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, and it just seems that Gane and Aspinall are gonna get that fight. But
that's
we've seen Jail Time in person, bro. Volkov can't let it hit at Matt. Styles make fights, and whoever gets their way, that's who's gonna come out victorious. Could end in one round between these two guys. Seriously.
UFC is also announcing its return to Perth, Western Australia for September 27th. 28th local time. They are, I think, 14, 15 hours ahead of us. But that should be very interesting. And then we have unfortunate Movsar Evloev is out against his fight against
Cut him.
Aaron Pico. It's tough. Pitbull said he wants Aaron Pico next if he gets by 50K. Said,
Focus on
brakes.
Danny. You
Yeah,
got some big.
Kid, we got some boxing news as well. Misfits Boxing 22 headline by Darren Till taking on Luke Rockhold, and the co-main event, Salt Poppy against Tony Ferguson.
Fuck. Soul Poppy's gonna knock out Tony Ferguson.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's over for Tony, right? Like it's just sad. But I like the fight between Luke Rockhold and Darren Till. That's a good fight.
Luke Rockhold's better than this. He shouldn't have to do this, but I guess anything to make some money.
Yeah, anything to make some monny. By the way, anything for PFL Africa? We got our girl Dakota Ditcheva. We got
chalky.
Johnny Eblin.
Too chalky. Both those guys, too heavy of a favorite. If you were to money line parlay them, you'd still be a plus 10 to 1 odds. So -1, 10 to 1 odds. I mean,
even the return of Corey Anderson or
yeah.
CJ McKee.
I like the card. I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow morning. Something to do. But I just couldn't back anything in that card. All
right,
we
kid.
need.
Well, what do you got for 10 seconds left?
The legit title, supposedly, than this championship series. But I am going back to that Pacquiao card, the Barrios Pacquiao card. And like I said, I'm going to the co-main event for the WBC and WBO World Super Welterweight title. Sebastian Fundora plus 125 taking on Tim Zissou at -140. It was a very close fight their first time around. Arguably that Zissou won that, was robbed. But, you know, he dropped the fight right after that, and then he's coming off of a win to get this fight back. But I think Fundora has gotten better since that fight. 6'5", there's over a foot in, height difference, and he's going to have the reach. And I just think that he's growing into more of his, his manhood and becoming really who he is as a fighter. So I think Sebastian Fundora is the right side, and you're getting a dog price for him. So give me the Towering Inferno at plus 125.
I love it. Well, enjoy, kid. Enjoy your weekend. Any big plans for you this week?
All right, man. Mets baseball's back, locked and loaded on the fights all weekend, and maybe, I'll give a call to you. So your birthday weekend, you can see my ugly face. Yeah,
I will be up in the Catskills. I'll be enjoying my weekend with my girlfriend and my dog. So that should be very interesting. Watch some fights with them. And we're locked and loaded, kid. Hopefully we win some bets, but appreciate the hell out of you, Joey. Yeah. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your fights, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.